It's been 2 decades since the horrific attacks of 9/11, but the memory of that day and the memories of those we lost still remain with us. On September 11th, we all remember where we were. I was serving in Congress representing the Cincinnati area. That morning, I had organized a meeting at the West Wing of the White House with several House colleagues and some senior officials in the Bush administration. My wife, Jane Portman, was in D.C. for a rare visit, so she came with me to the White House that morning. When the first plane hit the World Trade Center in New York City, a Bush aide interrupted our meeting and asked me to come upstairs to the Chief of Staff's office. He said there seemed to have been a terrible accident. As we walked into the office, we saw on TV that another plane hit the second tower, and we knew this was no accident. We were under attack. President Bush was in Sarasota, Florida, but the White House staff went into action. I saw the Deputy National Security Advisor for Chemical, Biological, and Nuclear Weapons, who I'd recently been on a panel with, rush into the West Wing and head for the Situation Room. What went through my mind when I saw her was the possibility that one or more of these weapons of mass destruction might have been used. As we hurriedly left the West Wing of the White House, just before it was evacuated, we could see an ominous plume of black smoke coming from the direction of the Pentagon. We turned on the car radio and heard about the attack on the Pentagon and the possibility of another plane coming to Washington, D.C. We were mostly concerned about our 3 young children who were back home in Cincinnati. I thought it was important to stay in Washington to do my job, but we wanted to get Jane home as soon as possible to be with our kids and other family. Rental cars were already really hard to find, but we got the last car at an enterprise rental agency in the suburbs and Jane headed home. On her way back, somewhere in Pennsylvania, Jane called me to say a group of first responders from Ohio Task Force 1 out of Southwest Ohio passed her, going the other direction, going east, lights flashing. We had a few friends who were part of that group. Here they were, driving into harm's way to help search for survivors at Ground Zero in New York City. God bless them and all Americans who showed extraordinary bravery in the face of adversity. The firefighters, police officers, and everyday citizens who stepped forward and risked their lives for others. Others donated blood, sent contributions, or extended a hand to a neighbor in need. Many of us knew someone affected directly by those cowardly terrorist attacks 20 years ago. And my thoughts and prayers go out today to my fellow Americans who continue to mourn the loss of a loved one because of that tragic day. Every September 11th, since 2011, I've made it a point to reach out to some of those Ohio families who lost someone in those attacks. The fight to protect our country from terrorism continues today. There are still evil terrorists out there who dedicate themselves to ending our way of life. We must always express our appreciation for our brave servicemen and women who have served or continue to serve in the war on terror. Their tireless efforts have protected us here at home and abroad. With the recent events in Afghanistan, I want all of our veterans of the war on terror and their families to know that their sacrifice was not in vain. They fought the enemy on foreign soil so we didn't have to fight them here, and they helped us to avoid enduring another event like 9/11. On behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your service, thank you for your sacrifice, and may God bless you and God bless the United States of America.